Have you ever caught yourself wondering why, no matter how much effort you put into a relationship, he still seems distant, like he's holding something back? You've planned the perfect date, sent the cutest texts, made yourself irresistible, but still he doesn't respond the way you hoped. And you start asking yourself, am I doing something wrong? Does he even care? Well, I'm about to tell you something that might sound completely crazy, but it's true. Men want to be treated in ways most women never think about, ways that go beyond the obvious hugs, kisses, and compliments, ways that make them feel seen, respected, and yes, deeply desirable. Here's the thing: men aren't complicated, they're simple. But the way society teaches us to approach men is all wrong. Most women focus on trying to change him, impress him, or make him behave the way they want. But the secret is this: the men who are truly drawn to you, the ones worth your time, respond to subtle, intentional behaviors that awaken something deep inside them, a sense of pride, desire, an emotional connection that's irresistible. Imagine this: instead of chasing his attention, you create a magnetic pull. Instead of wondering if he's thinking about you, he can't stop thinking about you. Instead of feeling anxious about whether he's into you, he's the one showing up consistently, eager to share, to connect, to be present with you. Tonight, I'm going to reveal exactly how to do that, how to treat him in ways that feel natural, sexy, and utterly YouTube safe, without nagging, without games, and without losing your dignity. By the end of this, you'll know the subtle, almost shocking ways men want to be treated, and why, when you do them right, he won't just want to be with you. He'll choose you over and over again. The first thing every woman needs to understand is this: men thrive on feeling competent. And when I say competent, I don't just mean at work or in a career sense. I mean in life, in love, in the small moments that make a man feel like he's capable of being the man he wants to be for you, and confident in the relationship he's building with you. Here's the truth most women miss: men don't always feel appreciated, even if they're providing, loving, or trying their best. Society teaches men to be strong, to protect, to succeed, but rarely teaches them that it's okay to feel vulnerable, or that their efforts are noticed and valued. And this is where you, as a woman, hold incredible power. When you acknowledge him, when you see his strengths and validate them, you tap into a deep, often unspoken need for recognition. Think about it: he just solved a problem for you, maybe fixed something around the house, helped you emotionally, or handled a tricky situation with patience and thoughtfulness. Instead of brushing it off, dismissing it, or thinking, well, that's his job, what if you said something like, "I love how you handled that. You made it look so easy, and it really impressed me." That simple, genuine acknowledgement makes him feel alive, capable, and powerful. And here's the subtle magic of this: when a man feels competent, he feels wanted. Not in a superficial way, not because he bought dinner or opened a door, but because you notice him, you appreciate his abilities, and you make him feel like a hero in your eyes. That hero feeling is deeply seductive. It creates a craving for your presence because he associates being himself with your admiration and validation. But notice how subtle this has to be. Overpraising, exaggerating, or pretending just to flatter will immediately be sensed, and it can feel cheap. Men respond to authenticity. They crave real acknowledgement. So instead of generic statements like, "You're amazing," or "You're so smart," highlight specific things he does that matter to you. This could be anything: the way he listens when you talk, how he protects your feelings, or even the fact that he made you laugh when you needed it most. Specificity makes it intimate, magnetic, and undeniably sexy. And here's the payoff: when you make him feel competent, he begins to trust himself around you. He opens up more, takes initiative, and shows up emotionally. That competence you recognize becomes a cycle of attraction. He wants to please you, to protect you, to be the man he knows you see. It's not manipulation, it's understanding the subtle psychology of male desire. So remember, this isn't about doing anything for him that you don't want to do. It's about noticing, validating, and honoring his strengths. Every time you do this authentically, you aren't just boosting his ego, you're creating emotional intimacy, deep attraction, and a connection so magnetic that he'll find himself coming back to you over and over again. Because here's the ultimate truth: men don't just want a partner, they want a woman who sees them, who values them, and who makes them feel like the best version of themselves. And when you can give that to him in a way that's sexy, respectful, and YouTube safe, you ignite a desire that's impossible to resist. Here's something most women don't realize: men are naturally drawn to mystery. And no, I'm not talking about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. I'm talking about holding your energy, your depth, and your life in a way that keeps him curious, excited, and wanting more. Because here's the thing: men crave a challenge. Not a challenge in the sense of win me over, but a challenge in the sense of discovering all the layers of you. Think about it for a moment. If a man feels like he already knows every thought, every habit, every detail of your life, he can start to take you for granted. Predictability, while comforting, can also dull desire. Mystery creates intrigue. Mystery creates pull. It makes him think about you when you're not around. It makes him want to lean in, to learn more, to engage with the vibrant, multidimensional woman you are. And mystery isn't about being distant, it's about being fully yourself while leaving space for him to explore. Share your passions, your quirks, your humor, but don't over-explain. Let him experience your energy, your excitement for life, and the unique way you see the world. When he has to lean in to discover you, desire grows naturally. Here's the sexy part: mystery ignites attraction on a subconscious level. Men are wired to seek novelty. They love the thrill of discovery, the excitement of someone who surprises them, challenges them, and keeps them guessing. But it has to be subtle. Don't withhold your affection or act cold. Instead, show up fully, but don't lay everything bare at once. Keep him intrigued by having your own life, your own interests, and your own fire. Think about it this way: when you create intrigue, you are essentially saying, I am complete. I am passionate, I am magnetic, and you get the privilege of exploring all of me. That energy is irresistible. He will want to invest in you because the journey of uncovering you feels rewarding and exciting. And that's the kind of pull that keeps him thinking about you, wondering about you, and yes, chasing you in the healthiest, most engaging way. Mystery also allows him to appreciate you more. When a man has to lean in to understand you, he values the moments you share, the conversations you have, and the experiences you create together. This isn't manipulation, it's natural attraction. It's about creating a dynamic where he is curious, excited, and emotionally invested without ever feeling pressured. So the takeaway here is simple: cultivate your life, your passions, and your energy in a way that makes him want to lean in. Be playful, be confident, be passionate, but keep just enough of yourself for him to discover. Because when a man feels intrigued by you, when he senses there's depth, complexity, and spark waiting to be uncovered, desire becomes effortless. And that, my friend, is incredibly sexy and deeply magnetic. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in attraction: physical touch. And I don't mean just casual touches, hugs, or holding hands. I mean intentional, subtle, and magnetic touches that create a deep emotional connection. This is the kind of touch that speaks louder than words, that makes him feel desired, wanted, and truly seen. Here's the thing: men are wired to respond to touch. It's not just biology, it's psychology. A light touch can communicate admiration, interest, and desire without a single word. But here's the subtlety: it has to resonate. Random or constant touching doesn't create attraction. It can feel overwhelming or even annoying. The magic lies in knowing when, how, and why to touch him in ways that feel natural, confident, and seductive. Imagine this: you're laughing at something he said, and your fingers lightly brush his arm. Or you give him a lingering hug that lingers just long enough to make him feel connected, but not smothered. Maybe you rest your hand on his chest while talking, letting him feel your warmth, your presence. These small gestures are incredibly intimate. They create a language of touch that communicates. I see you, I desire you, I enjoy being near you. And here's why this works on such a deep level. Touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It triggers feelings of safety, desire, and attachment. When you touch him in ways that resonate, you're not just creating physical intimacy, you're creating emotional intimacy. You're telling him silently but powerfully that he matters to you and that you're present with him in a way that feels magnetic. But there's an even sexier layer here. Touch communicates choice. Men want to feel chosen. When your touch is intentional, confident, and responsive to his energy, he feels desired by you, not just noticed. That desire creates a pull that's irresistible. He starts associating your presence with pleasure, comfort, and excitement, and that, my friend, is incredibly seductive. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about doing something inappropriate or overstepping boundaries. It's about subtle, confident, YouTube safe gestures that deepen your connection. Light touches on his arm, playful nudges, brief hugs, or even a soft hand on his shoulder during a conversation. All of these are tools that make him feel connected, admired, and drawn to you. The key here is mindfulness. Notice the moments when he's engaged, when he's laughing, when he's sharing, and match those moments with touch that enhances the connection. The more natural and genuine your touch, the stronger the pull. It's subtle, sexy, and deeply magnetic. So remember, touch is a language, and when you speak it with intention, confidence, and authenticity, you create desire that goes beyond words. You create closeness, attachment, and a magnetic energy that keeps him thinking about you, craving your presence, and wanting to be near you, because you've shown him, without saying a word, that you see him, desire him, and value him. That is the power of physical touch that truly resonates. Now, let's dive into something that many women struggle with, but when mastered, can completely transform the way a man feels about you. Respecting his space. I know, it sounds counterintuitive. You might be thinking, wait, if I give him space, won't he drift away? But here's the truth. The men who are truly worth your time aren't afraid of space. They crave it. And when you understand how to give it in the right way, you create a magnetic attraction that most women never achieve. Here's why space matters. Men are wired to process their thoughts, emotions, and decisions internally. Unlike women, who often verbalize feelings to feel closer, men need a little breathing room to reflect and recharge. When you give him that space, you're not pushing him away, you're showing him that you are confident, independent, and secure in yourself. That energy is incredibly alluring. Think about it this way: a man who feels pressured, monitored, or constantly checked in on will often retreat, not because he doesn't care, but because he feels smothered. It's human psychology. Men value freedom as much as connection. When you respect that, you create a balance where he can be fully present without feeling trapped, and that is deeply sexy. But here's the nuance that most women miss. Giving space isn't about being cold, distant, or unavailable. It's about maintaining your life, your passions, and your energy while allowing him to have his own. When he sees you thriving independently, he admires you, respects you, and most importantly, desires you more. He knows that he isn't the only source of your happiness, and paradoxically, that makes him want to invest in you even more. Here's the sexy psychology behind this: absence creates desire. When a man experiences your presence as valuable, when he realizes that your attention is a choice, not a given, he starts to crave it. He starts thinking about you when you're not around. He starts noticing little things, appreciating the moments you share, and cherishing your energy. That longing, that pull, is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. And the beauty of respecting his space is that it builds trust. He begins to understand that your love isn't dependent on control or constant reassurance. Instead, it's confident, patient, and emotionally mature. He feels safe, he feels appreciated, he feels understood. And that creates a connection that's both intimate and incredibly magnetic. Now, how do you do this in a practical, seductive, yet YouTube safe way? Start by maintaining your hobbies, friendships, and personal goals. Let him know that you enjoy your own life, and that time apart doesn't mean distance in your heart. It means strength, independence, and confidence. When he comes back to you, he will bring energy, attention, and desire that wouldn't exist if you had hovered or been overly available. Another subtle tip: use your communication wisely. Instead of constant text or checking in, send messages that are meaningful, playful, or intriguing. Leave space for anticipation. That way, he looks forward to connecting with you instead of taking your presence for granted. The ultimate takeaway here is this: men don't just want to feel loved, they want to feel respected, trusted, and free to be themselves. When you give him space in the right way, you aren't creating distance, you're creating desire. You're showing him that you are confident, independent, and magnetic. And that, my friend, is the kind of energy that makes a man want to choose you over and over again without hesitation. Here's the final and perhaps most powerful point: men crave authentic appreciation. Not the generic "you're amazing" or "good job," but genuine acknowledgement that makes him feel seen, valued, and wanted for who he truly is. This is one of those subtle secrets most women overlook, but when applied correctly, it can transform your connection completely. Think about it: men are wired to provide, to protect, to show up. And yet, so often their efforts go unnoticed. Maybe he fixed something for you, offered advice, or simply listened when you were frustrated. If you simply say, "Thanks," or "move on," he may feel unrecognized, unappreciated, or even invisible. That's a missed opportunity to deepen attraction. Appreciation is a language, a way of showing love and respect without overloading him with words or expectation. But it has to be authentic. Men are finely tuned to detect insincerity. Flattery won't work. Overpraising him for the sake of praise will feel manipulative. Instead, focus on the details, the things he does that matter to you. For example, "I really noticed how patient you were today when handling that situation. It made me feel safe and supported." Or, "I love the way you made me laugh tonight. It reminded me how thoughtful and caring you are." Specificity makes your appreciation resonate on a deeper level. And here's the seductive part: authentic appreciation communicates emotional intelligence, confidence, and warmth. It shows that you are attuned to him and that you value him as a whole person, not just what he does for you. That kind of validation is incredibly magnetic. It makes him feel seen in a way that taps into his core desire to be respected, admired, and wanted. But here's the deeper layer most women miss. Appreciation creates desire because it reinforces his sense of identity. When a man feels recognized for his strengths, his efforts, and his unique qualities, he feels proud, confident, and emotionally connected. He starts to associate those positive feelings with you. And that emotional resonance, knowing you notice and value him, is what keeps him engaged, invested, and wanting to show up for you again and again. Remember, this isn't about creating a transactional relationship or manipulating his feelings. Authentic appreciation flows naturally from genuine observation. It's about noticing, acknowledging, and celebrating the man he is, and doing so in a way that makes him feel cherished and desired. Here's a simple rule: look for the moments he goes above and beyond, no matter how small. Recognize them, comment on them, express your admiration. Let him feel your warmth, your gratitude, and your emotional presence. When you do this consistently, he starts to crave your attention, not because he needs validation, but because your presence feels affirming, empowering, and deeply intimate. The ultimate takeaway here is this: men don't just want affection, they want to feel valued for who they are, not just what they do. When you master authentic appreciation, you tap into one of the most powerful forces of attraction and intimacy. You create a man who is emotionally connected, invested, and eager to show up in the ways that matter most. And when combined with all the other points we've discussed, competence, mystery, touch, and space, this appreciation solidifies a bond that is magnetic, seductive, and enduring. So, appreciate him not for what you hope to get in return, but because you see him, because you notice him, because you value him. That authenticity, that deep, sexy recognition will keep him coming back, emotionally, mentally, and yes, even physically. It's the kind of connection that makes him feel alive, excited, and utterly devoted to you. So let's wrap this up and really lock it in. Tonight, we've uncovered the secret ways men truly want to be treated, and I promise these aren't tricks. They're subtle truths that most women never realize. First, we talked about making him feel competent, not just flattery, but real, specific acknowledgement that makes him feel capable, valued, and powerful. When you do this, he feels proud to be himself around you, and that pride creates a magnetic pull that's impossible to ignore. Then we explored mystery and intrigue, how being fully yourself while keeping just enough depth for him to discover makes him curious, excited, and emotionally invested. Men are naturally drawn to layers, and when you present yourself in this way, you ignite desire without saying a word. Next, we dived into physical touch that resonates, intentional, subtle, and seductive gestures that communicate attraction, warmth, and choice. The right touch releases connection and desire on a level words often can't reach. We also covered respecting his space, how giving him breathing room while maintaining your energy and passions builds trust, appreciation, and longing. Absence, when handled well, truly creates desire. And finally, authentic appreciation, not generic praise, but noticing the little things, valuing his efforts, and letting him feel truly seen. This kind of validation makes him feel wanted, emotionally connected, and deeply drawn to you. Now here's the deal: when you combine all 5 of these points, competence, mystery, touch, space, and appreciation, you create a connection that is magnetic, seductive, and emotionally irresistible. I want to hear from you. What point hit you the hardest? Which of these do you already use? And which are you excited to try first? Comment below. I'll personally read them, and I want to know how these insights transform your connection with him. Remember, attraction isn't about games, it's about understanding, confidence, and subtle emotional mastery. Use these secrets wisely and watch him choose you over and over again.